What's a lot of...
So we're recording. So Professor, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for having me. I feel very welcome here at your BJJ school today, Gracie Barra Fulham. And yeah.
It's a pleasure. So guys, my name is Lucio Rodrigues, and my nickname is Lagarto, means lizard in English.
How did you get that name?
Professor Márcio Feitosa, one day he looked at me and he said that my eyes or whatever looks like a lizard, and that's it. That become my name.
Okay, so it's a good compliment. It's not.
Yes.
It's not derogatory.
I thought I like to think I work so hard that I make something really ugly looks cool. Yes, that when you're a teenager and someone call you Lagarto in front of the girls, that's not a really cool thing, but I managed to turn Lagarto into such a nice thing.
So, whereabouts are you from back in Brazil?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro, from a place called Vargem Grande. It's kind of like a countryside of Rio de Janeiro, but it's still inside the city. It's a very unique place, and that place like half an hour from Barra da Tijuca, where I spend my whole life in the Gracie Barra training Jiu-jitsu.
What brought you to the UK?
Well, I moved to Portugal. Carlos Grace, my master, he had the idea to start to promote the Gracie Barra in Europe, and I was the guy who he chose to spread the jiu-jitsu in Portugal. And they came to visit my friend Roger Grace here, and then I liked the city. And I moved to the north of UK, stayed there a couple of years, but eventually I come back to London again.
Whereabouts in the north were you?
I used to live in a place called Preston, really close to Manchester.
Preston?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How did you find the accent?
It's really hard. It takes a while to get used to it, and especially the people cannot, because it's funny, in London the people so used to it with different accent, different type of people.
Very multicultural.
That's it. And then when you go to the north, people don't really get the accent. If you don't speak exactly the way how they speak, they don't get it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was very hard for me.
So did you start BJJ back in Brazil?
Started BJJ back in Brazil.
How old were you when
I was quite young, but I started to take really serious when I was around 13 years old. And that's when I have the bug of the jiu-jitsu, because the idea was in Brazil everyone does jiu-jitsu, in Rio de Janeiro especially. And I was surfing. When I was not surfing, I was training, or most of the days I was surfing in the morning and training in the evenings.
They seem to go hand in hand, don't they? Surfing.
Yes, it's a lifestyle.
Jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
And then that's how I went.
Did you do anything before BJJ, or was it straight into BJJ?
No, I did everything. I started like my father and my mom. They are like belt in karate.
No way.
Yeah. Then I used to train a lot of karate with my father, Shotokan.
Shotokan.
Yes, and then I did the capoeira a little bit,
cool.
Kung Fu, yeah, Muay Thai, boxing.
Yeah.
And
this is like a list of, when you go on YouTube and you see Gracie versus
all
the different martial
Yeah, that's true. I did everything, but especially when I was training MMA, I trained MMA for a long time. So then I was all full-time training everything, like everyday boxing, everyday Muay Thai, 3 times a week, at least, and Jiu-Jitsu every day.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you've had a long career in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And you're 38 years of age.
Yes.
How do you maintain that longevity? How do you stay injury-free?
Yes, I think you can prevent a lot of injuries with a mindset. The way you spar, the way you train. If you think about to train really hard every day, that's equal injuries. And to be honest, that doesn't really make you improve, because you're gonna improve with the mistakes, right? And then if you push yourself really hard, you don't give time to your body to rest, eventually you're gonna end up injuring yourself. But what I did that prevent a lot of injuries, I try to focus a lot on mobility before training.
Okay.
I always did a lot of mobility and make sure I was warm, you know, and I never really just get in on the mats and train. I'm 38 years old and I'm still fighting really hard, even competes in the adult division, you know.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about that. So, I know obviously this is your school and you do a lot of teaching. Whenever it comes to competition for you, at what particular level do you step up your training and say, right, now on competition training? Because obviously there has to be different level of intensity.
Yeah.
You know, the mental aspects you're trying a lot harder. If normal kind of off competing training time, maybe you wouldn't try so hard to get out of a certain move. I'm sure that changes, you know, when you're competing.
Yes, changes a lot. So the main challenge in the competition is the priorities. For instance, if you think about the priority of one guy 20 years old, it's not the same priority of one guy 30 years old. That's not the same priority of a guy 40 years or 40 years old.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the same priority as someone 50 years old.
Yeah.
So the question is how to align those priorities. Before you train hard and put yourself in those situations, you need to think, okay, my case, I'm 37, 38 years old. Why I want to put myself in the challenge of the adult division? That someone just have that priority at the moment. Just training, eat, and repeat. You know, sleep and repeat. So I like to challenge myself. I always did. You know, that's I think, but the outcome of this, I wanted myself a better version of myself. I want to learn just the fact to give. Once I learn, once I become better, then I can give better to my students. So when I manage to go there and scramble myself with the young boys and get in the podium, you know, get in the finals, and I think because I have that in my blood for so many years, I like that adrenaline. I like to be in the middle of that, but the most important thing, the reason I'm doing that, just to become better. Because when I'm putting myself in the competition, especially in that level, I need to be super sharp mentally, physically, and emotionally, you know. And it's very hard to put this together.
Yeah. How do you quantify that? So what does that mean?
Yes.
Like, so for you to be how do you know you're physically
Yes.
sharp?
So first of all, I need to choose the competitions I want to fight.
Why does that make a difference?
Because then you can build up a proper training. Because then we can do periodization.
Fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Without that, you just waste your time.
Brilliant.
And then I start, working the flexibility, the mobility, and then I go to the strength, fast, then I start to cut the training. So the day of the competition, I don't really care how I start the competition. I don't really care if I will tap. I don't really care if I'm gonna feel tired or but what matters is the day of the tournament. That day, I need to feel right, hungry to be there.
Okay.
And that's coming with the
Preparation,
periodization.
So when you say periodization,
yes,
allowing a certain amount of time for your body to get used to that certain training,
yes,
and the mindset as well.
I have a friend, Gabriel Kitober, that lives in Israel, and they have the best training methods in the world. That from their place called Vingage, that's where came all the books from, studs. So Gabriel is really into the study. I did physical education as well.
Oh, cool.
So what I do, we sit down together and we build up the training the way we think is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Then he take for the guys there. The guys study the training. Then we study everything: how to rest, the time to rest, the amount of energy we're gonna spend, the type of exercise I have to do, the injuries I have to work around, the type of exercise I have to do to prevent and to work that injury is a lot of work.
Does the result to you matter then in competition? Does the end result is that what it's all about?
Yes, when you start when I started the competition, like before was everything about the result, but now I just want to be on the competition as longer as possible. So if I lose in the first fight, I say, man, I didn't learn that much. Do you understand? So if I get in the finals, if I win, I will enjoy more.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But if I can't do it, I'm not gonna be upset, I'm not gonna be frustrated. I'm gonna be I have a lot of thoughts and thinking about how can I improve, what I need to fix. But I don't really get upset. I know what I did. I'm really happy for what I built up, for the things that I achieved. So I can consider myself a very successful jiu-jitsu competitor, as a very successful professor. So I have all these settled in my life. So once I have this in my heart and in my life, in my mind, one of the things I want to put on the side is the ego. Then once you don't have ego, then you're ready to improve and you're ready to learn.
How do you, at your level, you said something tonight that was very interesting when you were teaching the class. I'll quote you, and I might not get it right word for word, but you said, I'm training all the time. Somebody, 3 times a day, 5-6 times a week, somebody turns up just off the couch and they roll for one night or one class and they get past my guard and I think, how do they do that? I've been training so hard, and you beat yourself up about it. And how do you control that at your particular level? Because it's such a high accolade, to reach the rank of black belt, and they say it starts again. When things you don't win all the time, how do you control that?
Yes, when you train every day really hard, usually your friends who is training with you there on a regular basis, first they will know your game, and second they will have more energy than you. So sometimes that's what used to happen with me all the time. I was in the gym the whole day. I could get overtraining in 3 days.
Yeah.
I trained so much, I thought I didn't know how to train.
That's interesting.
That's the thing.
That's very interesting, because you said, you also trained in physical education.
Yes.
And overtraining is such a dangerous spot to fall into, when you do feel I need to do more hours on the mat.
Yeah. And then I will think, man, I'm going to train as much as I can. I'm going to train here. Then after, I'm going to do sprints on the beach, like 45 degrees outside. Then I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to drink water so I can, suffer, and that's going to make me even more tough. And then I'm going to eat, I'm not going to eat a lot. That's going to make me lazy. A lot of crazy theories. And then I was overtraining, like 2-3 days overtraining. And then my friends come that they was doing a better training than myself. Just the fact they was not putting too much pressure on themselves. So they go, train in the morning, study the position, go home, sleep, eat, play some video game, and come in the evening and smash me.
Do a bit of surfing.
Yeah, surfing. And that was there. No, I'm gonna be the best. I need to push myself. Overtraining. But one thing I have to admit is the amount of hours that I put into the sport and on the mats, that counters a lot. So I was overtraining, I was stressed, I was sad, because when you push yourself a lot, you end up, all your emotions get really messed up, especially when you don't know what you're doing. But in the long term, I felt my jiu-jitsu improve a lot, and those guys, they start to stop on the way, and that's it. Then I carry on, the guys standing up. But I was quite lucky because I didn't end up in crazy injury.
Yeah.
And then also I started getting super interested how to train properly. Then I started to fix myself, I started to adapt to my training.
So well, what does that mean to you now? How do you train? Do you still compete?
Yes.
And
For
how
example,
much do you compete on in a year?
at the moment, I put in my mind that in the last European like that I competed was 2 years ago when I was in the final for Muhammad Ali. Aí segura um pouco, fala um pouquinho mais baixo aí, cara. Fala um pouquinho mais baixo aí. Then I was in the final for Muhammad Ali, and that moment I decided to retire, at least to remember that moment for myself, because I'm like, I was 36 years old, competing that level, a lot of different priorities on the way, and people forget about it, that, man, this guy is 36, compete with this guy, man, monster, just training and all this. So I want to put that mark, at least settle that, say, listen, I'm retired. Whatever from here, if I want to compete after that, okay, maybe I can come back from the retirement, but that's enough. I did everything. So then eventually I come back, and I fought, the guys invited me to fight the king of the mats in Abu Dhabi, and I have a terrible injury on my elbow.
What happened?
I had a fracture on my elbow, but the organization was so nice. You know, the guys was looking after the athletes so nicely. You know, I just wrapped my elbow and I went. And I was said, you know what, I'm just gonna train a specific training, you know. And I was pulling guys for side control, pulling guys to my back, you know, man.
So you did the competition with a fractured elbow?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And
how
then
did you manage the pain?
Yeah, I was just too scared. I was just concerned about it. Someone threw me and I put a hand on the floor and I could end up break my arm, you know, like.
I thought you were gonna say pull on Brazilian. Or
yeah. That's what and then I got and the next day I fought the World Pro Cup. Then I managed to end up in the finals with Albert Santos, and that was my last fight. He smashed me there, but I still went all the way through, and that's what I like. I like to put myself in the challenge, and
yeah, I would say that was an amazing amount of pressure. You know, sustaining an injury like that, which potentially, you know, if that was the Olympics, you would have been pulled from the team. You wouldn't have been able to compete.
Exactly.
And that's, you know, the Olympics comes around, you know, once every 4 years. People build their whole careers up towards it.
Exactly.
And sometimes that decision gets taken out of the competitor's hands. Mm-hmm. So it was really incredible that you decided just to go ahead and do that.
Exactly. I compete in different. I think like I don't recommend this to my students. Actually, I don't let them do that. Right. For example, Professor Natalia, she had a bad knee, and they told, no, stop, don't do that. But I did crazy things. For example, I compete 2 days before, 2 days after chemotherapy. I did this before, chemotherapy and radiotherapy while I was doing treatment. Chemotherapy. I had cancer before.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did 2 days after I went to compete one of the biggest tournament in Rio de Janeiro.
I had no idea. That is absolutely phenomenal.
That's great.
How long have you been in remission?
Over 10 years now.
Oh my God.
Consider 100%.
What a champion.
Good. Yeah, and that I compete with. I really have a very bad knee. I was training for one of my students, Bling, and my knee really cracks really bad. And my knee was.
Was it bone cancer?
No, it was Hodgkin lymphoma in the lymphatic system.
Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Champion in so many ways.
Exactly.
This is unreal.
Yeah, and I compete while I was doing the treatment. I compete for broken knee, and I knew the broken knee was funny because my godson was on the way to Germany to compete.
Yeah.
My name was there. So I will not compete, but I'll take my kimono just in case. And then once I got it there, people started to call my name and said, you know what, I will compete. But I could not even put it in the pants. I couldn't. And he helped me to put it in the pants. I hold the collar and I just lay down. Even for I don't know, like a good 3 weeks, I could not sit down. and that on the chair, and I didn't know if I would be able to hold the collar and to go all the way to the floor.
Wow.
I didn't know if I would be able to do that. And then that was my drill. That was my warm-up, hold the collar and sit down with one leg, like pistol squat.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And the guy was just smash me. Somehow end up on top, and I managed to get a submit like 2 guys. I went to the final, and the guy scored like, I don't know, 40-0, and but he didn't tap me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but that I think when you manage to push yourself, that when you try to take the best of yourself in the worst scenarios, that's amazing. That's when you can, you have a big boost on your jiu-jitsu, on your mind, and everything. Yeah, so about the cancer, when the doctors told me I'm not gonna be able to compete anymore, I wouldn't be able to have a child anymore. My career was over and all this, and after the cancer, I managed to. That was okay, go over, but I would try. And then I compete the state of Rio de Janeiro was the biggest one. Then I won my division, the open division, and as when I finished the chemotherapy, I managed to fight the World Pro Cup. And I remember in my division 2011 was Xande Ribeiro, José Jr., that's really tough guy. He lives in Abu Dhabi, good friend, and Marcos Bochecha. Yeah, that was the year that I won the World Pro Cup after the cancer. How beautiful luck was that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I ask, when did you get diagnosed, and how did you discover you got cancer? How did you find out?
Well, I was competing every weekend, and I got a lump on my trapezius here.
Yeah.
But everybody was saying it was a throat infection.
Oh.
Yeah, but then I started to investigate. I said, man, something weird, and then a friend of mine, he did a biopsy, then he found out I was with that.
Did you start getting some symptoms?
No,
really?
Just night sweat.
That is a red flag.
Yes,
yeah.
But I didn't have a clue. It was like the bed was like soaking wet. Yeah.
Wow. God, that is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is unreal. So, I suppose going into a competition, you'd already beat the biggest competition.
Yeah.
Which was the big cancer, the big C, and then that's just.
Yeah, that's
unreal.
That was one of the best moments of my life, to be honest. I learned so much of that.
Are you a family man now? You've got children?
That was one of the things. So the doctor told I would not be able to compete, and I did it, and I won. Thanks God, I did everything. So I was like happy because the doctor was wrong. And the second was like, okay, I cannot have kids and all this. Okay, that's it. And then just like few months ago, I did all the tests. Then I find out I can have kids.
Yeah. Yes.
So
you're on non-stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I have some real blood?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Everything.
Congratulations.
Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Oh,
so everything was. Luckily, the doctor was wrong.
They don't get it right all the time, do they? That's amazing.
They didn't know I had a lizard blood. Yeah. Yeah.
So why Gracie Barra?
Well, a lot of people ask me that, to be honest. Lagarto, why don't open your own team? For instance, I see like Galvão. I saw Galvão like as a little boy. Like we kind of grew up. I was nearly one generation ahead of him. He was blue belt, I was purple belt. And now Galvão have his team. Atos doing really good, blah, blah, blah. But why I gave Galvão an example? Because I saw Galvão as a little boy.
Yeah.
Right? But I believe in something bigger than just a team. Our philosophy in the Gracie Barra, it's beautiful. I believe I'm a guy with a very strong personality, and I will never do something that doesn't have a strong meaning behind. And I believe so much in the vision of my master. And he gave me everything. He gave me Lagarto. without Carlos Grace, I wouldn't be here now. So he was the guy who, when I was in the Gracie Barra, I didn't have money to pay the Gracie Barra, and he said, "Do you wanna train?" I said, "Do you wanna compete?" I said, "Just training." And he didn't know me, and he did it, and he helped me so much. He spent so many hours with me on the mat, guiding me, not really just about jiu-jitsu, but about life. He spent several times with me. So I can't turn it back for a man like Carlinhos. I call him Carlinhos, but Master Carlos. And with that amazing vision that he has, the jiu-jitsu for everyone, and he believes the world would be a better place if everyone does jiu-jitsu. So I want to be part of this.
It's a great message, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel this isn't my club. I'm only down here working for a few days. I just did a quick search on the internet, found GB West Kensington.
Yes.
Met Professor Guy. He said, "Come down tonight to Fulham." It's so welcoming. And when I contacted you guys on Instagram, yeah, Paul, just come along. Don't worry about fees. You're a member of Gracie Barra.
Yes, of course.
And I'm from Coventry, which is just up the road, and it feels great. It does feel like a family,
Of course.
Everybody is welcoming.
Yeah. That's have a huge the way Master Carlos grew up, the way the Gracie grew up.
Quite a big family, wasn't it?
Big family in the farm.
Yeah.
That's why Carlinhos, every time when he finished, he sit on the mat, always a students around.
Wow.
He's a guy, person man, liked people around him.
Yeah.
He liked to inspire people. He liked to help people to become better. And I saw this since a very young, in my young age, and I always liked that idea, that approach, and I could not go in the other way. Don't understand me wrong, there is a lot of people who do an amazing job out there. I mentioned Atos doing a good job there. They do an amazing job there, but I love my team and I wouldn't change.
Do you think the message goes beyond the mat for Gracie Barra?
100%. It's that it's not just we're not just jiu-jitsu, we're not just guys who just do a sport. Way more than that. As you said, we're family. I have so many people here that cries on the mat every day, that you help to become better, and they see the girls have us as a part of the family, the little guys, everyone. It's so beautiful, and I'm happy to. And the other thing, the huge support that we have, right? So everyone now, I know guys, a lot of guys, they run the school, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and the main petrol, the main reason that push them, that motivate them, is the ego. So I am the professor, I am the best, my student, my.
Yeah.
And the Gracie Barra, we work together.
Yeah.
We are, it's not I am. So we have a very strong mindset, we have very strong foundations. We grow from inside to outside, not from outside to inside. So first of all, we have the why really strong, then how and what. So they have all that fire inside us. We're there because our why is really powerful, and the growth is endless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give, let's say, two demographics? Somebody young coming in who may be, slightly intimidated, by jiu-jitsu. Look at all these, you used the term earlier, monsters or big kind of people wearing, the gi, the belts. It can kind of be. I was 36 when I started, and I was nervous walking into the gym.
Yeah.
And I got into it because in my physio clinic, all these patients were coming in. Hey, can you fix my elbow? Can you fix? What's happening? What are you doing? I do this thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Tell me about it. And then you should come down. I went down, instantly addicted and hooked. But I still found it intimidating. Now, I'm a grown man. I'm a family man. I served in the army, I'm ex-forces, I used to box at an amateur level. I thought I'd seen a bit of the world, but I'm still nervous and still felt butterflies in my stomach and thinking, that skinny kid over there is going to submit me and strangle me, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. So what advice would you give, let's say, to someone young, a teenager coming in, and then maybe to somebody a little bit older, 30 plus, maybe even the 40-year-olds who want to get into it?
Well, the way we work here breaks a lot of that feeling, because the students, to start training with us, they need to book the intro class.
Right.
In the intro class, they will have a private class for one of our coaches that go through with them all the curriculum, the history. They will teach them the base movements, and they're gonna have a huge idea what they will face.
Right.
Also, they will not spar before 3 stripes.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna build up, we're gonna look after them, so they will feel their environment is really safe and welcoming. Actually, after the first class, usually the students, they feel so confident they want to bring the girlfriend, the kids, the mom,
the
everyone, the dog, everyone, you see? So it's, as we said, we just depends where you step into, where you're going, and should be intimidated. Because I see a lot of places that I go, even jiu-jitsu places that say, man, bless these guys, they don't have a clue what they're doing.
Wow.
You know, those places could be really dangerous. If you have a guy there, professional, who calls them professional, professors of a martial arts, and they don't know what they're doing, that could be dangerous. You know, could end up injury a knee, or, you know, could take serious consequence.
Anything.
You know.
Yeah.
So there is a huge. What I would advise the guys to research really well where they step in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So make sure the guys have the proper way to teach.
Yeah.
Make sure that I ask themselves, how's the environment of this place? Today, if the social media can check so many things on the internet before you go in that place.
Like, so it's reputable.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's nice to know. Well, it's great experience when you come to like Gracie Barra Fulham, and the warm up is exactly the same.
Yes.
That's what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Gracie Barra in Coventry, Birmingham, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, it almost systematizes, you know, a martial art. So you shouldn't feel intimidated, and you know, oh, I know this. Familiarity.
See?
You know, you come in and you go, yeah, you know, got to shake hands.
Exactly.
How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about, for example, our warm up, a lot of guys say, no, we have to do backflips, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's just a warm up. You're here to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just a warm up that everyone can do it.
Yeah. Increase the heart rate, increase the blood.
Exactly.
Reduce the anxiety. Yeah.
Don't get an injury. You know.
Yeah.
But you prepare the body to the action, right?
Yeah. Sure.
So then, with our warm up, everyone can do it. We follow the curriculum worldwide.
Yeah.
We are 800 plus schools, and we need a system. We need a system that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Reputable and repeatable.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's for the younger generation. What would you give advice for the older guys like myself?
Well, I don't consider myself old. You know,
older. I said older.
Okay.
Older,
okay.
yeah. No, I don't look.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You look young, boy. So.
Is that lizard blood?
Yeah.
I probably got some.
I have a lot of guys who come here, and the same thing. Some guys, they're a little bit older. They don't even know how to work the internet things. They just come pass at the door. Hi guys, you know, I can see the eyes, but everything starts with a beautiful handshake and a good smile. You know, when the guy come over and they feel the welcome and the energy of the place, and it's genuine, you know, it's genuine. It's not, there is no fake here. We're happy to receive everyone here for open arms. As what you train every day here with my coach, my professors, I say our mission is bigger than teach jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Our mission to make the human being a better version of themselves. So it's beautiful when you have that mindset, and everyone step and wake up and say, man, today I have a good mission, let's do it. But for the guy who wants to step in the place and cannot research, is a little bit intimidated.
Yeah.
But I would advise exactly the same. Try to research in your area, Google, go there, see the pictures, see the comments, come over, do the intro class. But I'm telling you, if you go to the place and the guy put you through training to spar on the first day, that is not the place. Leave it.
They probably wouldn't go back anyway after that, would they?
Exactly. If you go there and the guy just throw you on the mat and put you through training or whatever, you're gonna end up have a serious injury. Jiu-jitsu is difficult.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is dangerous if you don't know how to do it. It's very easy to injure if you don't have the right approach. But on the other hand, it's super safe, right? If you do it properly, it's super safe. You're not gonna get a punch in the face, not gonna get a kick, but you can give. The thing that I love in jiu-jitsu, you can give 100% of yourself in the sparring, and you're gonna finish clean, go to the shower, new life, and that's it. If you go 100% in the boxing, we end up like this, right? My time end up like limping, right?
That's so true, yeah.
That's so beautiful, right?
It is, yeah.
And so powerful. And that's what I recommend. So research before you step into cross the door.
And then you've got to take that first step.
Yeah,
you've got to take the first step as well. And first impressions go a long way, don't they?
Yeah.
So what does the future hold for you?
Well, now
apart from fatherhood.
I may concentrate a lot in organize my academy, establish everything. Everything is going really well. I consider myself a blessed person. Make sure those people who is help me, I'm gonna help them to guide in their life as well. They're gonna be able to live comfortable with jiu-jitsu. So I want to help those guys to do that, and while that, keep and challenge myself in the competition, keep and training harder for the students, and every time when I see someone that's really tough, I say, let's check what can I do here, and I'm still training really hard for my students. And I think that's the other beautiful thing in the jiu-jitsu. You show the position, and that really works. It's not something that fairy tale we see on the internet, on Google. They're like those things. You show, and you get it.
Yeah.
You show, listen, that's what I'm doing. Getting ready, they're gonna get you now.
Yeah.
And you go for it, and you get it work. So that's what I want. I want to help my students to become the best version of themselves. To the guys who like to compete, to get the dreams come through, to become world champions, European champions. I want to give to those guys everything that sport gave me.
Wow.
And if it's zero, those people who think I'm not sure because maybe the guy gonna be too good.
Yeah.
I show everything to my students. The little detail, how that finger point to the ceiling, everything. Because once they're getting better, I need to get it better. And as much I teach, better I become. Zero ego. I believe we are together in the same boats, paddling to the same direction.
That's inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
I certainly learned something tonight, and I really enjoyed being here. Thank you so much, Professor Lagarto, for your time. I feel utterly inspired.
Thank you very much.
If anyone could take something from this, it's that they should, if they're in this area, should just even come down and meet you.
That's
just for a simple conversation. Thank you again.
I'm always around. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.